Coming up in this episode, Cooper handed a flight stewardess a note which at first she put in her pocket without looking at it.
The bomb goes off in 30 seconds.
It was raining, and it also would have had a 200-mile-an-hour wind facing him, and he was jumping in loafers and an overcoat.
Legend.
Absolute baller.
Imagine jumping out, like you say, it's 200-mile-an-hour winds, jumping out with a bomb.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Fuck
That
it
must have been a
like,
dud.
Yeah,
what happens when you land?
That's a dud.
No spoilers, this is a hijacking. More than 800 suspects were considered over the first 5 years of the investigation.
It's funny how he left the tie.
Yeah, very odd.
Like, you're jumping out 200-mile-an-hour winds, like...
You're going to want your tie.
You're gonna want your tie.
Yeah.
He was originally investigated for air piracy, which sounds fucking cool.
Being an air pirate.
Oh, an air pirate.
Yeah.
That's fun.
I've never heard of this. This
Have you
is
not?
mental.
Yeah, it's insane. It gets
This
even
is
crazier.
fucking
It does,
crazy.
it gets
Yeah.
crazy. Welcome to the Allegedly Possibly Maybe podcast. How are we doing today? Right, before we go anywhere, I've got to get you to like the actual video because that does help us and we make free content for you. So this little trade we do. Also, we've got a clips channel. All the clips now are going to be on there. And Alien, if you want to
Needs a name.
that.
Does
Yeah.
need a name.
We've got a few good ones.
Nameless.
But we haven't quite decided yet.
Yeah.
So, my podcast this week, because it's my go, it's about D.B Cooper, my man D to the B to the C.
Nice.
Do any of you know anything about D.B Cooper or the story, anything like
We used to make minis.
that? That's a different person, but...
I got a rough idea, but I don't
You
know
got
whether
rough.
that.
I
I
haven't
don't know
got a
whether that's
clue.
from Prison Break, but.
Oh, yeah, I remember you
Yeah.
saying last week about that. But I'll go, basically what I'm going to do, I'm going to go through the story of what happened. There's a few theories, there's a few suspects, and then we'll obviously riff on that and discuss about it.
Sweet.
Feel free at any point to just interject if you've got any questions or if you want to take it on a tangent, because we always fucking do.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel that's what the audience almost expect at this
Yeah.
point. So let's get into it.
Let's get into D.B Cooper.
Let's not actually inside him. Right, it remains one of the most notorious unsolved mysteries in FBI history. So on Wednesday, November 24th, 1971, a man going by the name Dan Cooper bought a $20 one-way ticket for a flight from Portland, Oregon to Seattle, Washington. Now, you kind of like look at that and you go, okay, one-way ticket. It's not a massive red flag, but you're like, okay, it's just, one way.
Can we also just appreciate that a fucking flight ticket costs $20?
Yeah, I was just
Yeah.
thinking that. Yeah.
I know this guy disappeared, but that to
Yeah.
me...
To be fair, though, domestic flights, they're not that expensive in this
Yeah.
country, are they?
I mean, you can
Oh,
get
yeah.
it. Yeah.
How much does it get to Scotland?
Well, sometimes I remember there
Is
was
that
a whole
domestic?
stage where like Ryanair and another one, EasyJet maybe, they were like it was a competition to the bottom. So like they kept it. There was a point. It was like £2 flights,
Really?
£1.99 and stuff, and you paid the
Fucking
tax,
hell.
which should be like
Yeah.
15 quid.
Pilots weren't trained.
Yeah,
But
people just flying for no
they were
reason.
the training flights.
Yeah.
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 Do you know what I used to hate about EasyJet? The orange.
You didn't like the colour, yeah. Who would have the colour orange?
It's just
Overbearing.
Doesn't make me feel a bit
It used to-
sick.
Yeah, it used to disgust me.
Oh, man. If you could get an EasyJet sign for your side, that'd
Oh,
be
imagine that. That'd be quality.
Sponsored.
Oh,
Yeah.
that'd be good, yeah.
$1.99 a podcast.
They're still going in there, EasyJet.
I think so.
Just
Yeah.
about.
Didn't go
COVID
down in
almost.
Yeah.
COVID shit.
Love that.
That's my flight. My flight sound.
Don't need a
When it
sound
crash.
board.
when they go down.
That's it. He was described as being in his mid-40s, wearing a business suit, overcoat, brown shoes, white shirt and black tie. He was also carrying, according to witnesses, a black briefcase and a paper bag, which will come into the story later on. This bit, I watched several videos and read like a few articles about it, and this is like one of those things that I pick out as like, it's not really that important, but little things interest me in stories like this. So apparently, before takeoff, D.B Cooper ordered a bourbon and a soda. Now, that to me speaks of a man who's like, I'm about to do some ball of shit. And I just think the mentality you must have is like, oh, I'm going to potentially, no spoilers, this is a hijacking. This is a hijacking. Oh, no, I'm just going to get myself a bourbon and a soda, do you know what I mean? Just to make that go down nicely. But yeah, that's just one of the things that I was like, what the fuck?
The only thing you could have done to better that, I think, if you'd gone bourbon on ice.
Yeah.
The soda.
If I ever hijack a plane, I'm going to be like, bourbon and ice.
Yeah. Leave the bowl.
The flight attendant's like,
Yeah.
I'm going to keep an eye on that fucking bourbon.
Yeah.
One way.
That's it.
One-way ticket, bourbon on ice. Just an ooze.
Don't let him on.
Yeah.
But bourbon is whiskey, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
So he's a smooth operator. A while after takeoff, around 3 p.m., Cooper handed a flight stewardess a note which at first she put in her pocket without looking at it.
The bomb goes off in 30 seconds.
Cooper is then claimed to have said, "Miss, you better look at that note. I have a bomb."
No.
Right.
Brilliant.
So I'm just picturing the scene of him going like, "I'll do it," and he's just put it in her pocket. You fucking
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
you bitch!
that did not go to plan.
By the way, I got a fucking bomb.
You might want to look at that. TikTok. Go
I
on.
just love the fact he's trying to be on nonchalant. Like,
Yeah.
just give that to it. And then she just ruins it. Cooper told the stewardess that he had the bomb in a briefcase and asked her to sit next to him. He then opened the briefcase to show some red sticks surrounded by wires, which I'm assuming would probably be like dynamite or something
Nice.
fucking explosive. This is what Cooper then asked the stewardess to sit down. She saw the wires and the briefcase and the bomb. This is what Cooper is claimed to have said. I want $200,000 by 5 p.m. in cash. Put it in a knapsack. I had to research what the fuck a knapsack was.
That's what you have on the end of a stick, innit? That's what Dan had in the special.
When I researched it, was literally just like a backpack or a rucksack.
Oh.
But, yeah, I don't know.
It doesn't come complete with a stick.
No.
That's a shame.
Imagine having that, like you're in a heist and you've got money in a fucking on a bag on a stick.
Americans always have to name stuff weird.
Yeah.
It's also a little kind of a fact, I guess. The name knapsack, because I researched it last night, apparently come from German soldiers. They I think nap or nappen is like to bite.
Right.
So apparently they used to carry food in their rucksacks and it got called a knapsack.
Ah, okay. German.
That might be complete bullshit, but I read it. So it's in the podcast. Do you know what I mean? Enjoy it.
It's the fact of the week.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's like, I want 2 parachutes, 2 front parachutes, and 2 back parachutes. I didn't even know front parachutes existed.
Yeah.
I want the 4 parachutes, and he said when we land, I want a fuel truck ready to refuel. And this is the bit that got me. He put in the note, no funny stuff. So don't fuck with me. All right, you've already fucking ruined one thing I've tried to do today. Yeah, he's a bit of a character, it seems like.
So wait. So is he saying this to the woman next to him, or has he written all of this down on the note that she put in her pocket?
Yeah, so he's given her the note, and then she's not looked at it.
Right.
And he's asked her to look at it, and he's written on the note these things that he wants.
I imagine as well.
No, isn't it?
Then 200 grand
Yeah.
was probably equivalent to
1.3 million. Was it? And this was while they were mid-air. They was up.
Oh,
yeah.
So they're taken off,
Yeah.
and then he's gone miss, and then it's all going on.
1.3 million.
Yeah. Because if a plane ticket's $20.
Yeah.
And he's asking for a parachute while he's up there.
No, so when they land to refuel, he wants when they land, he wants the money, and he wants the plane to be refueled and the parachutes. So they're going to take back off.
That's quite clever,
fuck
to
off.
be fair. I'll give him that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said no funny stuff or I'll do the job.
Nice.
Again, very open, innit?
Yeah. He hasn't excluded. He's produced a bomb.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the I'll do the job bit's probably like, not really needed. We know what you're going to do, mate. He actually asked for the $200,000 to be exclusively made up of $20 bills. I don't know why you'd want that. I guess maybe that's the most commonly used note.
Get his 20
point.
back as well for the flight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
obviously.
True.
You got to make your fucking losses back. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So in that situation, would she have to go to the pilot? The pilot would have to. Well,
Yeah,
in that
so-
situation, what would, if say you're the steward or stewardess, what would you be thinking? What would you do? I'd call him out.
No,
I'd be
I
like,
Would you? I think you got to toe the line.
Yeah,
'Cause he's got a
the
bomb,
reason I would,
even if it's
because
fake.
I wouldn't give a fuck about the airport or the people who run the aircraft and stuff. You know, like
Yeah.
EasyJet, whatever. Like, if I'm getting a potential, I could die,
Yeah.
or they've got to pay out some money.
Yeah.
I'll just go along with it, land the plane, get everyone off, get everyone safe, and then and then just give him the money. He just wants the money, don't he? He's not there if he's.
But then I'd be like, well, just do it then. Go on. Then. What's the?
Jimmy's gonna be a hero.
You're basically gonna die.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Let's do it. Let's die together.
Let's die
Come on,
together. You without your $200 grand, $20
Yeah.
fucking dollars down.
Yeah. This ends very badly for you if you don't fucking get off the plane because you're gonna die because you're not getting your money. So you either get off the plane and live the rest of your life, or you die.
Jimmy's
would
fucking
you be bothered about
300
their
IQ
money?
then.
Oh no, I don't care about the money. I think it's just the principle of this. I want to see if he's
got the minerals.
Yeah, see if he's got
Hang on
the
a minute, mate.
bollocks.
If you produce a bomb, fucking set it off. Don't fucking pussy around with it.
Yeah.
He did ask the stewardess to give what he'd written down to the pilot.
Nice. Okay.
So
cool.
obviously the pilot's got to then take into action like, oh shit, I'm actually gonna I'm basically in a hijacking. Great.
Yeah.
So he asked for the bills and for them to be exclusively made of $20 bills. After the flight landed at Seattle, Cooper exchanged the cash and parachutes for 36 passengers that were on the plane.
Okay, cool.
But he didn't let any of the, as far as I'm aware, any of the
the
staff off.
Yeah. Makes sense.
This meant some crew members were still on the plane. Cooper ordered for the plane to take off for Mexico City and stay below an altitude of 10,000 feet.
Mm-hmm.
That's low.
It is quite low. But they don't know why he chose Mexico City, and he didn't tell the pilot or the captain which route to take. So he literally just said, that's the end destination. Basically, get there how you fucking want. As long as you're flying in that direction, don't give a fuck.
Oh, okay.
This is.
Oh, so
I've never heard of this. This
Have you
is
not?
mental.
Yeah, it gets
This
even
is
crazier.
fucking
It does,
crazy.
it gets crazy.
But if you think about it, so obviously he's asking for parachutes and that, yeah, so he's probably going to jump.
Yeah.
But if he just wants it to go to Mexico City but not a specific route, that would imply he doesn't actually have
No.
a location
No.
to drop
not,
to.
But I think he doesn't care. I think
Yeah.
At this point.
hopefully he's practiced parachuting.
He's 3 Bourbons deep.
Yeah. I mean, he's gone on there with dynamite, which I don't know. Maybe at the time it was the in thing.
Who?
Yeah, yeah.
So did someone have to bring it on?
Cartoons.
Yeah, Looney Tunes.
It all
TNT.
seems very like. Usually in films and that, there's always like a bit of pushback but it seems like they were just like, yeah, fuck it, just give him.
They're all
Yeah.
pussies, Jimmy. Basically, they
Yeah.
just rolled over.
Also, as
But
well,
they
this-
were- they're just
But
But I guess
motivated.
it's bad for business if your plane explodes.
yeah. And also, again,
True.
it's like before then, they weren't doing checks
Nah.
on fucking baggage and shit.
I mean,
And,
evidently,
like,
you got a fucking bomb in a briefcase.
Yeah.
That's mental.
So it's like he's helping them out going forward. Like,
Not
Yeah.
the stress testing.
Yeah.
You fucking
It's
security.
scary. It's like the equivalent of a modern day hacker who
Yeah.
then goes to
Ethical
them and be
hacker.
like, look,
Yeah.
I broke into you just to show how shit your security is, so hire me.
Yeah,
Except that
I'll
he just
take
wanted
my
a straight
crypto
payout.
fee straight out of your account. Don't worry about it.
You don't like going through luggage because of this cunt.
Yeah, that's
So
it.
that's a good point.
We got the
I mean,
joys of that this
That's
weekend.
it. He was then said to have put on a famous, there's an image of him that's synonymous with this story. He put on like some wrap-round sunglasses. I don't know if, Ben, you'd be able to find it. If you know anything about the D.B Cooper case,
Pair
or
of
you've looked into it.
Oakleys or something.
Yeah, probably some premium Oakleys, you know what I mean? He's got bourbon and soda, John. He's pretty
That's
pretty
the
good
one.
oh,
dude.
nice.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Nice.
that's DB.
Yeah. Good old DB.
There he is.
He put those on in preparation for his jump. So you can see,
Keep the eyeballs moist.
Yeah. He's jumped before then, for sure.
oh, well, this what you would have thought, but we'll get into that
Okay.
later on. Let's have a look here. Yeah, he's put the sunglasses on, ready to jump. Just past 8 p.m., the plane was somewhere between Seattle and Reno, Nevada. I don't know why I said it in that accent, but there we go.
Nevada. Just another thing, just looking at his face there, when he said he's got a bomb, I wouldn't ask, because his face there, he looks like he's, you wouldn't fuck with this guy.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
The way his eyebrows are looking at me there, it's like...
His eyebrows are looking at you.
Yeah, this bomb's going off.
Yeah.
He don't give a fuck.
With the glasses on, he looks like a menace. Let's go.
I imagine he's quite polite when he said it all, but with intent.
Yeah,
That's
just calm,
No
collected.
funny business, or I'll do the job.
Reminds me of an agent.
I will kill you, and I don't really care.
He's
Very agent.
Man in Black.
He is. He's
He's
giving
actually
off that
looking for the
vibe.
aliens.
That's it. Well, we'll get into that maybe later on.
Oh.
Or maybe not. Oh, dear. He jumped out of the plane just after 8 p.m. He jumped out of the rear doors with 2 parachutes and the money, never to be seen again.
Oh, my God.
This prompted a massive search for evidence as to who Dan Cooper was. The FBI found a clip-on tie on the plane, which Cooper reportedly took off before jumping. The case was named Norjack, which is short for Northwest Hijacking, and would last decades. The FBI searched the plane and even released the serial numbers of the 200 grand in 20 bills that Cooper has said to jumped out of the plane with. Fast forward 9 years to 1980, and a boy found a rotten package with $20 bills inside that matched the serial numbers of the ransom money. $5,800 was found in total in the bag. It was found on a beach at Tina Bar. It is possible that when Cooper jumped, he may have lost the money, which might have fallen into water and then made its way downstream to the beach.
Okay, interesting.
But 9 years later,
That's
finding
it.
a package of money with the same serial numbers on.
Unless he kept a bit of it and was like, made it look that way.
Yeah, ditch some of
I
it.
just got the image of him like jumping out of the plane. He thinks he's made it, he's done it, and then instantly the money's just fucking going everywhere, and he's like, "Shit!"
Yeah.
Just
dear.
that image in my mind. The discovery did not lead to anything. The FBI searched the surrounding areas, finding nothing else. So that was literally the only thing found in the area. In 1972, multiple letters were sent to major newspapers such as the Washington Post and New York Times. These letters would include confessions of the crime, eulogies of a recently deceased people called D.B. Cooper, and 1 or 2 claiming to be Cooper's brother. So once this is reported, everyone's coming out of the fucking woodwork trying to get their piece. More than 800 suspects were considered over the first 5 years of the investigation. 800.
800 people.
Fucking hell. In November 1972, 2 men were charged for extortion after they were both found to be impersonating Cooper to sell the story to the press.
Okay.
Scammers.
Where's the logic in that?
If you're gonna make one big like push to get your fucking bag, I wouldn't go for a criminal that's on the run.
Wanted by the FBI. It's like with it's like have you seen the Zodiac film?
No.
It's a great film about the Zodiac killer. He was never caught. Apparently they've deciphered it. He used to write in code and shit, and apparently they've deciphered it recently. But there was hundreds of people that came forward claiming to be the serial killer. I just don't understand.
Perhaps they do it for the buzz or whatever, and then they know that they've got alibis, and then so they can prove that they're not. So it's like they almost do it as a weird. But yeah, you're right, because what happens if it fucking you get done for it?
Yeah.
It's
just
then you're fucked.
Yeah, it just makes no sense. Of all the things, like trying to get a book deal as a guy that's on the run from the FBI.
Yeah. You do realise you're going to be in prison if this book
and
deal
they'll seize the money. So there's just no logic whatsoever.
And some people are just hungry for fame, aren't they?
Yeah.
Did he? So when he jumped out, he was overseas. Was he overseas or was he over land?
Well, go into like where he jumped. Well, they don't know exactly where he jumped out. They only know that he was between.
Staff weren't paying attention.
Just like,
shit, he's gone.
Oh,
I thought he was still in it.
Oh, well, at least the bomb's gone. Oh shit, he's left the briefcase. No, he jumped out.
Did he actually leave the briefcase?
I don't know. I didn't. I just made that bit up. Bit of ad lib for you.
Imagine, would you? Imagine you would.
Imagine he just blew him up anyway.
Yeah,
savage.
That's absolutely fucking savage, isn't it?
As he's
He
opening the
got
box.
he got everything he wanted.
Yeah.
Fucking killed him anyway.
That bitch should have read the note. Oh,
If it actually goes on to say he did that, I'm really sorry to all the victims.
no one died, so it's
Okay.
all right.
That's why I think I like this guy.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
he's either through his own incompetence or his genius, he is a great thief.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? More than 800 suspects were considered. 800 in an investigation like this. You know, you normally
Yeah.
have like fucking three.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like 800. You're gonna have to have
Yeah, I
like
was on that
5
plane.
staff per fucking suspect. Interesting fact also, the name D.B Cooper was never actually part of the FBI investigation. The suspect's name, or who he went by, was Dan Cooper, and had never referred to himself in any documentation as D.B Cooper. It is thought that several news services had mistakenly named him as D.B Cooper.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
which is one of the things I was like, how the fuck does that happen?
Yeah.
How the
It
fuck do
sounds
you-
better.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's more catchy.
It probably might have been
For the
mine,
headlines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
D.B Cooper.
Yeah.
But from a logical standpoint, it's
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, that's that Dan Cooper. What should D.B Cooper do?
Yeah.
He sounded like a right baller.
Yeah.
DB.
He had a bourbon and a soda before he did it.
Yeah.
DBS Cooper.
Yes, it. The suspect name was D.B Cooper, but his actual name was Dan Cooper, according to him. There's not actually that much in terms of what else we know about him.
I was going to say, yeah. Did they ever find out who he was? Like friends?
Not definitively.
No.
So
that's
there's
interesting, isn't it?
few suspects who they were, well, there's over 800, but the ones they were very keen on.
Yeah.
There's one in particular you go, okay, that's a bit, but we'll get into that later. I just want to get a bit of juice.
Because surely anyone who went missing around that time,
Yeah.
I know,
Or like-
I know loads of people could go missing.
Yeah,
in
60s
America.
and 70s as well.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
like it was
Maybe 800
vagabond,
people.
weren't it?
Yeah. Anyway,
Maybe there was just
Exactly.
800 people that went missing around that time, and they were like, "Well, it must be one of these."
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. I'd say, speaking of the going missing and that in the 60s and 70s, and obviously it's a different
so
time,
many.
blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And it's no disrespect, but obviously, because of my line of work, I do a lot of cases, and one recurring theme
He's a
from that
lawyer.
era, one recurring theme from that era is people being picked up like hitchhiking and they get murdered. Like, for me personally, if that was a thing, I'd have to hear about one person being picked up and murdered, and I'd be like,
That's it.
hitchhiking
Not doing
is not for me. And yet there were fucking
Yeah.
hundreds.
The thing is, then,
There was no
phones, nothing.
Yeah.
but
She's
as,
like-
but as well, yeah, documenting it, like you'd see a bit on the news, but I don't think they probably realise how
how bad it was.
bad it was. 'Cause
Yeah,
now,
true.
now maybe look at like because as well, states don't share information, do they?
Yeah,
so, like,
it's very odd.
Did they even have like
different laws.
TV? in
well,
the
they
60s?
had,
I don't
they had
know.
like basic,
Yeah, I think so. Not much so,
basic
but yeah.
TV, but it was like what,
Trevor McDonald weren't like fucking on there every night, was he?
That's it.
but
Another
like, so,
hitchhiker
yeah,
has died.
it'd only be big cases like
Yeah.
you know serial killers that would people go missing because it's the 60s as well when everyone was like transient and the
Yeah.
hippie movement. People would there was like huge farms and stuff with hundreds of people.
Yeah.
Like people were kind of like it's not like you could phone in and check in.
Yeah.
And like people, you'd go away for like 2 years, or whatever, and no one would know where we are, and you come
Yeah.
back, and it was
Yeah.
I think nowadays it's like if someone don't hear from you for a couple of days,
Yeah, so
you
we'll-
start worrying and
yeah.
panicking. Whereas like I remember when I went traveling, we obviously had phones and that, but it was nothing like it was now. And I'd phone home or get in contact every couple of weeks, or whatever.
Yeah.
So anything could have happened in those
Yeah,
time
yeah, yeah.
periods.
Yeah, and also they can track your cards, all sorts of shit now. Kind of
Everything,
your
yeah,
footsteps,
yeah.
your footprints everywhere. It's like, imagine, I don't know, and this could be very naive, I guess, but imagine being alive in like the 1700s. How fucking easy it would be to be a serial killer.
Oh mate, it probably happened a lot.
You could just fucking,
Yeah.
as long as no one saw you,
Yeah.
you've essentially got away with it.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Oh no, I reckon I'll be tempted.
That was, I mean,
About
that
a
was
couple
like,
hundred years, I reckon I'll
They
go
go
on a
for the
little
easy
spree.
targets in the fucking 1700s. What
Yeah.
about being one today?
Nah, it's too
Nah.
risky.
that was
innit?
like, I
risky.
mean, our old man, he was like,
Serial killer.
no, not a serial killer, but like, if you used to pick up a car,
Yeah,
if the
crime
police.
then. Crime then
if
was like it's
The only way
yeah.
you'd get caught is if like
you got caught.
the police
Yeah.
just come after you.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if you're driving at like a nicked car or whatever, they wouldn't know.
Of course, no way to check, blah, blah. Yeah. Because you have to check paperwork as opposed to all
they'd have to pull you over, and it's like, but then even
get someone on the phone to go through a filing cabinet.
But then even if you've nicked a car, it's like you have to get caught first.
Yeah.
Because it's not like they can just, send a chopper out, or it was like they had to literally catch you.
Yeah.
And then so.
And then I guess you could just say someone sold it to you.
Yeah, mate. I was thinking about this the other day. The difference, how mental it is now. Like, so where we live, someone got their dog stole. They picked up the dog. This woman tried to nick the dog, and but someone had seen it. They put a post on the local thing, and then everyone was like checking their doorbells. And within 5-10 minutes, they found where the woman is. And then they told the person, so he went down and got the dog, and I was like, "That's mental."
Yeah,
like, it's good for really good for safety and kids.
Yeah, absolutely,
and all that sort of stuff. So it's just mad, isn't it? How now, and I think even now, as if you were doing crime, whatever, there's mini cameras everywhere on doorbells. So like you would be like, oh, well, I mean, we used to nick milk really bad, but like we never have our milk nicked.
Yeah,
and I just think it's probably because of all the cameras everywhere.
Yeah.
So if someone nicks
I've got one. Ring doorbell.
Yeah, they're gonna get caught.
Yeah, and that's a live feed. I can literally fucking look at my drive right now. Not only that, if an Amazon fucking driver knocks on my door, I can fucking talk to the guy, telling me the back. Like if someone was trying to break into my house, I'd just be like, I wouldn't try that if I was you, mate.
Yeah.
I'm a very dangerous individual.
I'm recording.
Yeah.
Well, there's an app
job.
in America. I don't know if there's a UK version, but there's an app in America. I don't actually know what it's called, but it's like you'll get like a notification if you were signed up to it if there's a crime within like how far away. So say if something's kicking off, like I don't know, down the kebab shop or whatever, someone down there's on the app, they press it, everyone in the local area gets like notified.
Fuck.
And then like everyone knows that
it's all kicking off.
It's like the Uber of crime.
They bring it to
That's
you.
fucking cool.
Yeah, but like in America, like there's like there's like people who like when something's kicking off, they some people get interested, don't they?
Yeah.
Like, oh, there's a fire down there. I'm gonna go down there, or like
click, clack, let's fucking go.
So it's kind of like the people are.
It's called Citizen.
Is it? Yeah,
Citizen.
Yeah.
That's like, have you seen that film, Nightcrawler, Jake Gyllenhaal film?
Yeah.
Fucking
love that
immense film.
Yeah.
I feel like, that, because that's kind of an American thing, isn't it? Like going to because on their news channels and that, like they show fucking like
everything.
If someone's been decapitated, it's there on the news. And that job, or that, I know it's a bit obviously controversial and frowned upon, but I think that is quite a cool job. Like,
have you seen the real guys who do it?
Yeah, it's fucking insane, isn't
it? Me and you watched over Christmas. We started watching. There's like a documentary on the people who do it.
Yeah,
me and
it's
you
mad,
were hooked, weren't we?
I'd have a sick heart.
Oh yeah,
yeah, just hoss it down there and get fucking filming. But Nightcrawler, one of my favourite films, is fucking so good. It's probably Jake Gyllenhaal's best, but fucking that kind of job. That app sounds perfect.
I can imagine you doing that.
Yeah,
mate, you should just start it on YouTube.
Yeah, should start it in the UK. I'll just
I think, like I say,
give
if that app does start in the UK, we should just do fucking APMA citizens arrest.
app. Yeah, it's been a murder. We're now heading down, guys. Welcome to the.
You're still gonna be there.
The APMA. I don't know.
News team.
Yeah, news special.
I'm just all I can imagine. Doody crawler.
Yes.
Going around the street.
Or you could all just be fucking nonce hunters as well. Do you know what I mean?
Oh man, that's a whole different fucking
that's a whole different
ball
ball
game.
game. It is.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Dear oh dear. They're nonce hunters are a special breed, to say the least. But yeah, D.B Cooper, was he a nonce?
It's not known.
Bringing the background.
He could be. Flight attendants were interviewed separately and gave near identical descriptions of Cooper. Other people who interacted with him also gave similar descriptions. The FBI even had to change the charge on Cooper's name. He was originally investigated for air piracy, which sounds fucking cool.
Being an air pirate.
Oh, an air pirate.
Yeah.
That's fucking...
He didn't even bother to have a patch. He just put glasses on.
Imagine if
I'm an air pilot.
It was possible to
An air pilot.
You know, like
That's
how
the coolest thing I've ever heard.
Isn't it? You know, like obviously pirate ships, they kind of commandeer other ships because they just like jump across. Imagine you could do that in a plane. Like they got pirate planes and they just like commandeer other planes.
Swashbuckle.
That'd be fucking awesome.
Just send, like,
just a fucking plane flying. You're in a commercial plane to like, I don't know, Spain or something. It's a pirate plane. There's cannons come out the side.
Some little ladders.
Swinging across a rope.
Giving it the whole fucking.
I fucking got you, mate. Yeah, they
Fucking
changed the charge from air piracy, but after the statute of limitations was met at 5 years with no suspects of being or anyone found guilty, Cooper was found to be in violation of something called the Hobbs Act. I was like, what the fuck's this? This was a federal statute that was meant to prevent extortion and, more importantly, had no statute of limitations. So if he was literally found tomorrow, they could charge him for that.
Oh wow. So what? This is obviously before, because isn't the whole American thing we don't negotiate with terrorists?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
would he not get away with this now?
I have no idea, to be honest.
Because surely that would be classed as terrorism, wouldn't it? Now,
No, it would yeah.
back then terrorists didn't exist.
He was he was ahead of the curve.
Yeah.
He was the brainchild.
But yeah. So
Yes.
that's interesting.
Rather get done for air piracy, though, to be honest. Sounds a bit cooler, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I'd rather be a
Violation of the
pirate
Hobbs
than a
Act.
terrorist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, everyone's got a profession.
Fucking hell.
So yeah, they've basically just changed that so they can actually charge him if he was ever found. He's never been found, and it's been
And how old was he, roughly?
in mid-40s.
Mid-40s in what, the 70s?
Oh,
71
yeah.
it was
Yeah,
done.
so
yeah,
he's
30, 50, 90. He's going to be 90s.
Yeah, he's going to be. Well, if he ain't dead,
He'd be
he
close.
pretty much
Throw
classed
him
as
on the
dead,
electric
do you know
chair.
what I mean?
What airline was it, by the way?
Northwest Airlines.
Oh, like in terms
Well,
NWA.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
inspired Ice Cube and Dre.
So, I mean, it obviously wasn't a publicity stunt then, was it? Because I'm just thinking. 'Cause, you know, like
Yeah.
They haven't.
yeah.
I've never
If you
heard
said
of
it was like
If you
American,
come on our flight, we will bow down to the hijackers. Don't worry.
we got
put
the
your
money.
safety
We
We
first.
got the money.
We got
don't
the
worry.
money.
Yeah.
We've got the cash. We've
If
got the
there's a bomb-
bourbon.
Yeah.
Well, they
There's a
don't
bomb on the
actually.
plane. Don't worry about
They
it.
don't have the money because they went into administration in 2010.
Did
That's
they?
what I mean.
Well, they
we go.
merged. They merged with
They
Delta
spent
Airlines.
200 grand on one flight.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it.
It was always playing catch up.
Yeah. So what's next? What's the theories?
I think this is probably a good place to go for a break, to be honest, because next we'll go through the suspects
Ooh.
and the theories.
Nice. Yeah.
Nice.
Great.
So
Nice.
enjoy the break. Welcome back. Hope you enjoyed that little ad break there. Possibly, well, I don't even know what we put in there. Just music, in it, Ben?
Yeah, just a little.
Little
Little bit of music.
chime.
Unless there is something we're promoting. Sure, maybe there wasn't. I don't know. Anyway, remember to like this video. Also subscribe if you're not already, because you're going to get a lot more better content. You know what I mean? Coming your way. We were talking about D.B Cooper, and I'm going to go through now, because we did in the first half the kind of story about it and his background. Well, not his background, but the story and the background for the story. I want to go through some possible suspects. Now, number one is a man called Richard Floyd McCoy. 5 months after Cooper's escape, the FBI arrested Richard Floyd McCoy for hijacking a plane. When compared to the heists of both Cooper and McCoy, they look extremely similar. So, both hijacked a plane and parachuted off. Both jumped from the same model of plane. Both requested 4 parachutes. Both were said to have been calm during the heist. Both passed a note about a bomb. Both used the phrase, "no funny stuff."
And he looks just like the picture. Case closed. We've solved it.
He.
What's
Well, he hijacked another plane.
This guy called McCoy, well, Richard Floyd McCoy,
Great
hijacked a
crisps.
plane.
The only
isn't it?
thing is, if your name's Floyd McCoy, why would you change your name to Dan Cooper? Because Floyd McCoy is fucking
I'm Floyd McCoy.
probably one of the coolest
Yeah,
names.
is that in The Simpsons? Floyd McClure, was it? Something like
Yeah, that is McClure, I think. Yeah.
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 Oh, I'm Floyd McCoy.
You may have seen me in.
They all. I mean, they look like agents behind him as well. They probably are.
I know, he's behind him. Look, D.B Cooper is behind him.
That's what I mean.
Look at that.
Look at the one on his just over his shoulder. Fucking hell!
Jesus
Looks like something out of Minecraft.
He looks like an alien dressing up to be a human.
That guy's head is so square.
So square.
For the audio listeners, we're looking at a picture of McCoy with 2 federal agents behind him, one of which
And he looks
is
like
a
Smith.
blockhead.
Yeah, he looks like Smith.
Nah,
The other one is just the definition of male.
He does look like that's exactly what he looks like. Yeah, toy soldiers. Floyd McCoy.
That's quality.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, so just a real error.
Sorry.
Both hijacked a plane and parachuted off. Both jumped from the same model of plane. Both requested the same amount of parachutes. Both were said to have been calm. Both passed a note about a bomb. And both used the phrase, no funny stuff.
And both look like each other.
Yeah, and he does,
Yeah.
well, you know, without the glasses.
Did
he
Floyd
pretty much
McCoy
said-
die as well then? Did he?
I'll go to it.
Oh, sorry.
Right. The FBI eventually ruled out McCoy as a suspect in the Cooper case, mainly because he did not match the description given by the flight attendants and other witnesses. But I was like, how different could it have been?
Yeah.
That is, yeah. That's
Floyd
ridiculous.
McCoy, did he do his one first or after?
No, he did it after.
Okay.
So I think it was 5 months.
Because he
5
might
months
he
after.
might have been
5 months.
yeah, but
as
then
well.
he might have saw the case and then been inspired by
Yeah,
it.
like
and thought,
copycat.
well,
This
yeah,
guy, I'm gonna do it.
Very true.
the kind of thing Floyd McCoy would do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Copycat.
But then
Yeah.
also learning to parachute to free fall, it takes a long time.
Not when your
to,
name's Floyd McCoy.
to learn. You can't just go and you have to build up to it, do training, and then keep doing your free fall jumps, especially to do it under those circumstances.
Yeah.
5 months. I don't think that's enough time.
That guy, Floyd McCoy, was parachuting off the back of his name, really. Wasn't he?
Was Floyd McCoy his actual name or was that his
No, that was his actual name, Richard Floyd McCoy.
Ricky Floyd McCoy?
Yeah, that's
Dick
good name.
McCoy.
Dickie.
Dickie Floyd McCoy.
Dickie McCoy.
I like
It's
it.
good fucking nicknames coming out of it.
Or the alien Floyd McCoy.
Ooh, I like it.
He may have been E.T.
So they didn't convict him of that because the witnesses.
said he looked different from D.B Cooper or compared to D.B
That's
Cooper.
interesting.
But from what the picture of him
Yeah.
there, you can't think how different must they have described him
exactly.
to make them go, nah, he's not the one. Plus, there probably was the point where it's like, well, he's going to go down for hijacking a plane anyway because he's been caught.
Yeah.
So-
yeah.
But at the same time, you'd have thought, well, if we can nail him for the D.B Cooper one as well,
Yeah.
why wouldn't they?
Yeah.
Interesting.
The second suspect is a guy called Dwayne Webber. Now, this guy annoys me because the way his name's spelt. Just a little thing. Dwayne is spelt D-U-A-N-E, and Webber is spelt W-E-B-E-R, not double B.
Not a double B. Yeah, too annoying. Yeah, I'm with you. on this.
Dwayne Webber.
Dweeb.
Yeah.
Dweeb.
Shit name that.
That's better.
It's no Floyd McCoy, is he?
Nah.
I would call him Duane Webier.
With a
French.
fucking moustache like
Yeah.
Dwayne Webber.
Duane
Oh, so
Webier.
by the way, did Floyd McCoy live or?
Yeah, so he went to prison.
Oh, right,
Yeah,
okay.
he went to prison for the...
But not for the DB Cooper.
not for the DB
Right.
Cooper hijacking.
Okay,
he
he
did his
did-
own one. He was his own man.
He,
Also,
he
for
did
him,
die as
for
well.
him as well. Obviously,
Yeah,
he
so-
got sent down. He's not going to admit it anyway. All these people say, he's like, well, I've fucking got sent down for this one. There's no way I'm admitting the other one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So,
that's true.
yeah, he'd have no reason to admit that it was him. He probably
Yeah.
loved it if it was him.
And if you're going to do that sort of thing, I kind of think you probably want to try and make it a little bit different till the one before was done. But then,
Yeah, but I say if it worked,
Yeah,
if it
true.
worked, and he's just like, obviously he's not going to use the same name,
no.
so it's like, yeah, it's either someone who's inspired by him or it is him.
Mm.
But 5 months after, yeah,
Could just be on a roll.
Yeah,
Or it could have been a crew.
could have been in
I
his
wonder if
original.
that- I wonder if
DB
they've
Cooper
ever
could
done,
have been an affiliation.
yeah,
Yeah.
a group.
Maybe he set up, like, when he landed with the money, he set up a course, how to teach people how to do it.
Yeah, come on the call.
In that
Made
course.
more money out of the courses than he did out of the actual thing.
As soon as PDF rolled around, it was game over.
I wonder if they've sorry to just go off tangent. I wonder if they've ever
go for
interviewed
it.
anyone who was in the cells with that guy, Floyd,
Yeah.
and just
Yeah.
see whether he's ever towards his because he said he died, he's dead now. Towards that,
Yeah.
whether he's like, oh, it was me. I did this. I
Well,
did that.
interesting you should bring up death. Because there's always the same story. Like, if you're trying to identify someone or trying to solve a crime, there's always someone somewhere who says, on the deathbed, it was me.
Yeah,
or,
yeah.
It was my brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the time. This guy, Dwayne Webber, he claimed to be D.B Cooper on his deathbed. He pulled his wife close and said, I'm Dan Cooper. That's what she said. But then you're like,
that would just be a cool thing to do.
That would be a cool thing. I feel it would have been better if it was true, if he pulled her close and just went, no funny stuff.
Yeah.
That would just a nice way to do it.
Clogs.
Yeah.
So she's claiming now, well, not now, but when they investigated her, she said there was like some red flags that she possibly should have picked up on. She said Mrs. Webber said that she began to remember certain things that, with hindsight, should have raised red flags. Apparently, Dwayne would sometimes talk in his sleep or have nightmares about leaving fingerprints on a plane. Very specific nightmare. So yes, that's not looking great. She also explained that Mr. Webber had a knee ailment from jumping out of a plane. Again, these are her words, not his. So.
And he went parachuting every single Saturday. Would have been a good one.
And he randomly brought 200 grand in one day.
And he had 4 parachutes.
Yeah, multiple parachutes.
Dwayne's handwriting was also said to have been found in a book about D.B. Cooper. Webber's wife also claims that Dwayne took her to the place where the rotten money was found on Tina Beach.
Really?
Yeah.
Or is she just thinking, book deal?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe this is the point.
It's trouble about it, innit? Yeah, it's like legend.
Once people get a sniff, they're like, I'm getting that $1,000 boy. But yeah, FBI did not believe Dwayne Webber was D.B. Cooper, even though he did match some descriptions and had a criminal background some thought would have been needed to pull off the sort of crime that D.B. Cooper did. So even though he was, by some witnesses, described as the same-ish, and all the stuff that his wife has said, and he also had a criminal background that some would lead you to, you'd have to have that knowledge or experience to carry off this. I just don't even know, like, what the fuck is going on. But anyway, that was
interesting because it's looking at the previous guy.
You think now,
you think him, but then you listen to some of the evidence, like, no one at the moment, blah, blah, blah. Then you think this guy.
Well, the next guy, called Kenneth Christensen,
was also D.B. Cooper.
Well, this is another one where you think this is like some of your family trying to get their minute of fame. But Kenneth Christensen, brother of Lyle Christensen, saw a TV show about D.B. Cooper and was convinced his brother Kenneth was Cooper. This theory also includes a deathbed confession from Kenneth to his brother. Kenneth reportedly said, "There is something you should know, but I cannot tell you." For me, that's absolute bollocks.
That's not
that's not even a confession. It's just like, see you later, mate.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm off.
And if you're gonna die, it doesn't.
Just say it
you might as well just say it
straight up.
So even in this guy, the Lyles Christensen his chance to sell a story or whatever, he's fucked it straight off by saying that he didn't actually say he was D.B. Cooper. It just makes no sense to me. Kenneth worked. This is where it gets a little bit spicy. Kenneth worked for Northwest Orient Airlines, which was the same airline Cooper hijacked. This led people to claim that it was possibly an inside job. Kenneth also apparently loved bourbon and bought a new house shortly after the crime was reported. When shown a picture of Kenneth Christensen, the flight attendant who spoke to D.B. Cooper during the hijack said out of all of the people she had been shown, Kenneth was the closest to how Cooper looked.
Oh, right.
She also, however, couldn't claim that she was 100% sure that he was D.B. Cooper.
Interesting.
So you've even got the witness, probably the main witness there saying, yeah, he looks the closest. She's chosen her words very carefully. She said, he looks the closest match D.B. Cooper that you've shown me yet. But she can't say for 100% certainty that it's him.
And he, like I say, if it's an inside job, I mean, it just feels to me that they gave the money over quite easily.
Yeah.
Like maybe he knew the guy who makes the decision of, just give him the money. And then he ended up splitting it with the other geezer. Gary
possibility.
Smith.
Gary Smith, the famous hijacker.
The fact that the other guy did it 5 months later, it's like, well, they still didn't sort out their policies and shit.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, Floyd McCoy, he's the man.
Floyd McCoy.
But
He
then
looks
again,
just
this
like
guy, he's
him.
bought a new house. He
bourbon.
likes his bourbon.
He's got
Yeah.
a mangled knee, but he's all right. Oh, that's the other guy in it. It's a twat. I'll get him a fucking suspects mixed up. But yeah, Kenneth was thought to have been the strongest, at least from a witness point of view, the strongest candidate.
Okay.
It's strange considering the FBI debunked Kenneth being Cooper on the basis that he did not match the description of D.B Cooper.
Mm.
Another reason the FBI doubted Kenneth as a suspect, which comes into what Dan was saying earlier on, another reason they suspected it wasn't him is because Kenneth was a paratrooper in World War II.
Oh, okay.
And the FBI believed Cooper was not a skilled jumper,
right,
just
okay.
purely on what he did and where he jumped, what he chose to do. Now, I want to go here into a couple of theories, and a couple of these are a bit spicy, because one of them at the end, you're like, there's not a lot of information on it, but what they have picked up is pretty cool. So, the first theory is straight up, he's fucking dead. He jumped, he didn't really have an idea of what he was doing, and he's just dead.
Yeah.
Cooper took 2 parachutes with him when he jumped. One was a training parachute, which was sewed shut and did not open. The other was a military parachute, which could open, but could not be steered. Why, if you're experienced in doing anything jumping-wise, you'd probably notice that straight away.
Yeah.
And you'd probably ask for a parachute that you can steer.
Yeah.
Did they do that on purpose, or is that what he asked for? Or did he
So
just ask for a forward and a back one, didn't he?
Yeah, I think they probably did that on purpose so he wouldn't be able to steer it.
Yeah.
And one of them would kill him.
Yeah.
Fucking hell. I mean, that's premeditated murder.
this
That's kind of
jumping out,
worse
yeah.
than fucking
Yeah.
stealing money.
Imagine that. Imagine the protocol after that happened was like they just have fake parachutes on there.
Really. Yeah.
Yeah.
You just open it, it's just like 4 little bits of string.
Yeah.
With
And then you just fall to your death.
no shoot.
It's a good middle ground because he's like, well, no, we're giving you one that works. You just can't steer it.
Yeah.
It's like when anyone kicks off.
One of them's just it's a block of concrete in there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
so
just
I'm
heavy.
sorry, mate. It's got a massive
Yeah.
hole in it.
Yeah.
As he jumps, it's like, it doesn't work.
Doesn't fucking work. The time Cooper jumped around 8 p.m., it would have been dark. No experienced jumper would have done this. It was also raining, and this is the kicker for me. It was raining, and it also would have had a 200-mile-an-hour wind facing him, and he was jumping in loafers and an overcoat.
Legend.
Absolute baller.
The fact that
So you'd have frozen.
they found the money on the beach. I mean, it's yeah.
They find all the money on the beach.
Nah,
or is it
nah,
just a
just
bit?
No,
Five-
just
five
they found
grand.
£5,800 in a bag.
Yeah, it makes
With
you,
$20 bills, but they were the same serial numbers that were given
yeah.
to him. So yeah, but just how
It's
how many
crazy.
different points of this story there's like a little crumb of
Yeah,
evidence, and then it just
yeah.
fucking fades.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the time he jumped would have been inadequate to see anything. There was also cloud coverage at, I think they said 5,000 feet, meaning that there would have been little to no visibility of the ground, even if there was light. Because he's above 5,000 feet, he can't see through the clouds.
Yeah.
So he's just jumping blind. He don't know where the fuck he is.
Yeah.
Baller.
That's it. The only thing that hangs this theory a little bit kind of like dead, I guess, in the air, is his body was never found, and his chutes were never found either.
Yeah, and that money was found later.
Yeah.
Like a long way away. Making it down the river all that way. And
Yeah.
Well, this bag would have been
9
attached to
years.
him, wouldn't it? As well.
Could have been.
Yeah. And he was it land? It was land that he was jumping over, wasn't it?
Well, he didn't.
Somewhere between
yeah.
wherever it was,
Yeah.
Michigan or whatever, and
Yeah.
Mexico, which
Yeah.
you'd think is land.
Yeah.
So it's not like
He
Yeah,
was
it's not-
you'd
between-
think if he's dead, his body would be found
Yeah,
eventually.
somewhere, yeah,
he jumped between Seattle and Reno, Nevada.
I mean,
So-
Nevada's a fucking
That's just a fucking desert, isn't it?
yeah. I mean, I guess there's a lot of. I guess all right, playing devil's advocate, there is a lot of landmass to get lost in.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah,
It's
that's what, and
literally
landing,
just
someone.
It's just
landing
barren,
in
isn't
the
it?
desert
Yeah,
with no supplies.
yeah.
Yeah.
But no one ever finding the parachutes. No
Yeah,
one ever
bourbon
finding
and
any
soda.
more money. Never,
Yeah.
never finding any more any of his body. That's nuts.
But then
Yeah.
again, if he'd landed in the desert, the money would not have turned up. Like, how would that money have got there? Unless
it had to have moved.
Unless another theory is like someone found him.
And took the money.
Took all the money and then left that as a crumb.
Yeah,
or whatever.
that's a good one.
They got rid of the body. Took the money.
That's
a good point. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Come off my dome.
Nice.
I reckon that's what happened.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah,
that would explain a lot.
Once I go through the theories, we should come up with our own one. And that probably is quite a strong one, to be fair.
Because imagine you seen that in the news, like, oh, someone's jumped from a plane with all that money.
Yeah.
You're probably going to just head out to the desert, see if you can find. Because you'd be like, well, maybe he did fucking just land on the floor or whatever.
Yeah.
Go out there, have a little hunt. You find him, think, right, let's bury the body, keep the cash.
Yeah, if you find it, what you're going to do? You're going to be like, well, like he's done the crime.
Yeah,
I either hand the money back in.
That's it. Because also, if maybe you're having like my conscience is starting to kick in, and then a few days later you see on the news that this guy's that was the guy.
Yeah.
He's a piece of shit. So
he's dead, and he's dead.
And he's dead.
He's literally a fucking pancake, mate.
Yeah,
and that's Weber. Because he worked there, he got some inside information of like the
potential.
The whereabouts he jumped.
This next theory is fucking insane.
Oh, here we go.
Right. This is the last theory I've got.
Right.
But I like to call this theory, the motherfucker built the plane.
What?
Now, citizen sleuths, they're like kind of amateur detectives.
Right.
They used an electron microscope on the tie that he left on the plane. Now, they found over 100 particles on the tie. Among these particles, they found cerium and strontium sulfide. I think I said that right. And pure titanium. According to these sleuths, these particular elements are used in a very narrow field for very specific things. The sleuths explain, although the elements were rare during 1971, they were being used by a company called Boeing. Boeing is the company who built the 727 model plane that Cooper jumped from. What they are saying here is he might have been a worker for Boeing who developed the 727 plane. Okay. And they said the only reason he would be able to get those things on his tie is if he worked in close proximity to either people who built the plane or building the plane himself, being a manager or something there. So they're essentially saying it might have been an inside job, which is quite weird. That's where the kind of crumbs stop, though, so there's nothing after that.
Yeah.
Because that's all they had to go by. All they had was the tie, because that's the thing he physically left there.
But what would be the benefit to the whole hijacking if he'd have built it, you know?
Yeah.
Another thing with the tie is maybe where he's like mincing about on the aeroplane. He's just got some, if they're building it in the thing, they might, if it's speckles, might just be left. When they're doing a bit of drilling or whatever. I don't know how much they clean the plane or whatever, but like if there's some little speckles that have come down, if he's fucking about with the door, shaking it, there's a few little bits coming off, and they're like, "Oh,
that's true."
Well, it's at the factory. It's like, no, it's just some bits on there.
Yeah, this is some residue.
I'm fucking shooting.
Trying to
down.
think if there's any way that he could have faked the jump.
Yeah,
stayed on the plane.
Oh,
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Threw the pilot out of the plane
because he knows how the plane was made or whatever. Like, I don't know. Is there like
gone into the cargo hold?
Yeah, like he's looked like he's jumped, but he's got like I don't know. He's attached and he's hooked under, and then he's gone in, and then the plane's landed.
Yeah,
love that. Yeah, he's fake jumped. He's gone out there and he's he's hooked underneath.
I don't know.
He's gone into the landing gear.
Oh, he's took the little model like that alien, dressed it all up,
lobbed it out,
lobbed it out, and then just sat in the toilet.
Yeah.
He oddly stayed in the same fucking pose the entire fucking drop.
Yeah.
Or was the whole crew in on it? Because they got rid of all the passengers. They got rid of all the passengers.
Yeah.
Maybe there wasn't even a D.B Cooper on the plane. Maybe it was just a geezer. They got rid of all the passengers, kicked him off, made him jump. They split all the money. Landed it. They were like, "Yeah, the guy jumped out."
Imagine that.
Odd.
Imagine on that theory. Imagine the crew. Yeah, so all the crew, because the crew don't check in, do they? So they take one of the crew who's on shift. They say there's like 6 from all in and together. They get one of the crew to check in as fucking D.B Cooper, all in the black. Obviously, and they're all pretending that crew member's working.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So all the passengers see this guy, this physical guy with the thing and that, and they're like, yeah, I remember that, I've seen that. But then what they don't know is that it's one of the crew.
Yeah.
And then they just fucking open the door, chuck all his shit out, and then be like, yeah, he hide the money on the plane until like it all calms down, and then everyone's looking for this guy, and then a few days later the pilot just fucking.
And then that's how the residue got on the thing, because one of the guys, worked with in Boeing.
Yeah, it's funny how he left the tie.
Yeah,
Random.
It's very odd.
Like, you're jumping out of a fucking 200-mile-an-hour winds, like.
You're gonna want your tie.
Yeah, you're gonna want your tie.
Yeah.
It's gonna look great flapping in the wind.
Yeah, don't leave any evidence.
Yeah. It's
strange that that's the only thing that's the only thing they reported to have been left. So where the fuck did the briefcase go?
Yeah, another thing. Yeah, did he? I mean, imagine jumping out, like you say, it's 200-mile-an-hour winds. He's jumping out with a bomb.
Yeah,
like fuck.
That must have been a
like,
dud.
Yeah,
what happens when you land?
That's a dud.
Yeah.
Imagine it weren't. He jumps out and just goes off in midair.
They told me it was a dud.
We did see an explosion, but
yeah. There was a 727 actually came down at the same time as well, but it just didn't connect the two. So, the FBI called the Cooper case one of the longest and most exhaustive investigations in the Bureau's history. As of 2011, the case file for Norjack stood at 40 feet tall and covered more than 1,000 suspects. The case was officially closed in 2016.
Nice.
Oh,
They do say if you have any information that would lead to arrest, please come forward.
Yeah.
I think it's highly unlikely.
Yeah.
Highly unlikely.
Imagine if someone in the
I
comments.
feel like we just solved it, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Could have done
It's either
that.
an inside
Look at the
job or he landed in the desert. Someone buried him.
Yeah.
Found him. There you go, FBI.
That's it.
We know you watched the pod.
I know you are.
Especially after 2 or 3 conspiracy episodes, I need to keep tabs on these guys.
Yeah. These guys, they talked about Bob Lazar. That's a fucking straight up red flag.
Yeah.
Let's fucking keep an eye on these guys.
Yeah, they're Dave on.
Yeah, they're all about this. That fucking doll's freaking me out.
Is it?
Shaking.
He's moving by herself.
It's a haunted doll.
That is the haunted doll that we got sent.
It's haunted.
Yeah.
It
Tink, I know you still watch. It's now in the cabinet.
And we thought he was from Russia just purely because of the newspaper that was put inside with the doll, but he's not.
Yeah, I also think it's a girl.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
My bad.
Yeah.
I've misgendered you.
Or, I mean, yeah.
It's like the D.B Cooper case,
very
isn't it?
pretty boy.
Yeah.
Who the fuck is Tink?
But yeah, I thought it was from Russia because in the box,
There was Russian
complete
newspaper,
Russian newspapers. So, you
It's
know.
not from Russia.
Apparently not.
Apparently not.
Where's it from?
Sorry.
Who knows?
From Surrey. From Surrey. From Surrey with love just doesn't.
From Surrey with love.
Spooky, innit?
Yeah. Well, just to go through, what was our theory? What was the theory you said?
Yeah, so my theory is that he jumped out the plane, landed somewhere, probably in the desert,
Yeah.
died on impact,
Right.
and then, but obviously died there with the money, and then at some point, someone found him. I think they probably found him after knowing about the case, and then they're like, well, that's the guy. Fucking there's 1.3 million equivalent there.
Yeah.
Let's take the money.
Yeah.
Just bury him up, and fucking fuck off. And then if it, that's
and then leave $5,000.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you know, just
Yeah.
as if it's like
just put it five. Yeah, again, it'd be a clever thing to do if at some point there's like new evidence coming in, or you got scared that maybe you're getting found out. Just fucking chuck a little packet somewhere.
Yeah.
Just to
throw them off.
to throw them off. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
That
perfect.
sounds pretty
The
solid to
perfect
me.
crime for the perfect crime.
That's it.
yeah.
Throw them off with a bit of 5Gs.
5Gs. Yeah. Just
On a random beach.
Yeah, why $5,000 as well? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's quite a small amount.
Yeah, they found it in what he was carrying a paper bag with him with a briefcase, and I don't know why you'd put that amount of money. Yeah, apparently so.
in a
That's
paper bag.
That's
Yeah.
odd.
So, yeah. Well, and that's what they found.
That's what they found. Yeah.
So that wouldn't have been in the water because it would have been the paper would just obviously
Turn to mush.
Washed up on the beach.
Interesting.
But it's weird. It is weird. Why would you? If you're getting $200,000, why you've got the bags presumably from the FBI, whoever gave him the money or put the money on the plane? Why would you split it? Why would you split 5,800 or whatever it was and put it in a small
on
paper
that
bag?
as well? If you found him, whether you heard about that story or not, if there's a little separate bag, like paper bag with $5,000 in it, you would assume that he's touched that and manhandled it. So that would be the perfect bit of evidence.
Yeah, true.
To plant somewhere to throw people off because it's not have his fingerprints on.
Yeah.
So it's always alive. We found the five. I mean, they probably didn't check it for fingerprints. Don't know. They should have.
Yeah, they would have had DNA.
Yeah.
Would they?
Yeah, I think that's probably early days, but I reckon they would have had some sort of DNA test in there.
Yeah.
I can't remember when they first. I think it was like the 60s.
I think the fingerprint stuff, they used to have to actually match it up, didn't they? They used to have to get
with
clear sheet.
Yeah.
It's like,
I suppose the serial numbers matched anyway, so it's pretty conclusive.
Yeah.
1986.
1986.
Okay,
that was
fair enough.
after.
Right.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think. Is there any scenario where it works where this was an inside job for some reason? As in, not the airline, but like CIA or FBI.
Yeah, that's it. Like, did they change any laws? Did they change any laws after this happened? Where like, we want to start checking your bags before you go on the plane. Like,
so they do something like this to
or like like the luggage. You have to put the big luggage under the thing, and then you have to pay for extra. I don't know. There's little fees, obviously on a massive scale.
Yeah,
it makes up to loads of money. So
if there's some sort of law they're trying to get through. Congress or whatever the fuck their thing is.
It helps with all
of a sudden if something like this happens, well, look at this.
Rush it fast,
it's like the whole 9/11 thing.
Well,
yeah, because you would have thought like
everything changed after 9/11.
That's it. I mean, you would have thought like they would have kind of done that and put it into place by the time McCoy.
Yeah, so I mean, the fact it happened
McCoy.
again 5 months later.
Yeah,
it's like,
true.
Come on, sort your shit out.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just a story with just like crumbs that lead to fucking loads of different avenues.
I think also as well the timing of it. It was obviously nowadays you'd have so much more evidence, but like it's one of those ones where it's so hard now to like backtrack and get the evidence.
Yeah,
everyone's got a camera.
Yeah.
Even people's houses have got cameras.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, if you're doing something nowadays, you're gonna get fucking caught by someone.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to. I don't think you'd be able to just disappear anymore. Imagine if that is all legit and he just did it.
Yeah,
he did it. He jumped off the plane. He landed. He managed to change his identity, and he just went off with 1.3 million.
I mean, it kind of, like I say, no one was hurt, no one was killed. It kind of goes down in that legend status.
Yeah,
where it's like the perfect crime when no one's really hurt.
If it's just a big corporation, no one really gives a shit.
Yeah,
you do love a good heist.
Yeah,
Netflix need to get on this, don't they? I want to watch this fucking series.
Yeah, like Ryan Reynolds playing D.B Cooper or something.
It'd be a good film.
Oh
yeah, definitely.
It would definitely make a good.
I'm so
film.
surprised there's not a film about it.
There's probably like
something
true
crime.
crime.
I think it's
shows,
difficult because let's say you put it into two halves. The first half that's on the plane, and then the second half that's when he jumps. In theory, the first half is based on a true story, and then the second half is just entirely whatever the writers want it to be.
Yeah.
Not saying that's a bad thing, but obviously it's an odd one, isn't it?
Yeah, one's like,
It'd be amazing.
Up to season like 6 or 7 of Game of Thrones, then the second half season 8.
They could do the film, and then like the next one could be like the new Batman, and he actually uses the money to like fight crime, and then you realise that he is Batman.
Yeah, that is Bruce Wayne's origin
story. He can jump out of fucking planes.
Yeah,
that's
D.B. Dwayne.
That's where the Batman come from.
Yeah,
200 grand in
funny.
20s, so it would be. How many would that be? How many £20 notes would that be? So,
I suppose, you have to figure out the weight, don't you? As well?
Yeah, thinking is it? Yeah, if it all in a briefcase.
Is it actually that much?
It's not. I don't think it's that much.
10,000.
Yeah, 10,000.
10,000. So that's not.
So yeah, I mean 10,000. Yeah, it'd fill a briefcase, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that'd be heavy.
Yeah,
that would be quite heavy, wouldn't it?
Yeah. But I remember. Do you ever watch that? There's a heist where a woman and a man they did a robbery in Vegas.
Yeah.
For a load of money, and then I think they got her on a plane in a wheelchair or something, but they were traveling around with the money, and even that's quite difficult to do because it's like you've got all this cash to try and you can't register your name.
You can't. Yeah. It's hard to spend.
Spend, and it's like it's
basically just like a lifetime supply of like amenities, like
Exactly.
food.
Yeah. You can't
or fuel.
Probably back in the day, you could get away with a bit more, but like buying a house and stuff and all that shit, it's tricky.
Apparently, a note weighs 1 gram,
Okay.
so it would be.
Is it 200 or 20?
Yeah, I don't think that'd be 200 kilos.
Because that's like 2 people.
Nah, definitely not.
Yeah.
If you think about just money in a briefcase, like 200,000 in that much.
No, I imagine it's 20 kilos, which is still quite heavy.
Yeah, it's still not ideal. Yeah. Still not ideal, but
it would have been 10 kilos.
Yeah,
10 kilos. Yeah, fuck all. Yeah,
it's much more manageable. Still not ideal to jump out.
Yeah,
of the plane
really
with,
good.
Yeah,
you'd rather it be lighter.
Yeah.
I'll have it in
Bank
Bitcoin.
transfer. Yeah.
Imagine if he did this now, and it's
Right,
like,
check.
hold up, mate. You know the Bitcoin is available.
Yeah.
You don't have to go to all this trouble.
Yeah. Transfer into this wallet. Yeah.
I want 200 grand in Bitcoin in the wallet address.
It's full Bitcoin.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. 'Cause that's the thing. It's like, it's a bit like the Austin Powers thing, isn't it? It's like $1 million. Like, is that it?
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
It's very interesting. I did not know a lot about that.
That is a crazy case.
And we still don't.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I've spent an hour of your time telling you a story that we don't know the ending to.
Yeah, and we probably never will.
That's it.
Well, closed it.
That's it. Well, thanks for joining us. I hope you have a good rest of your day or night, whatever you're doing.
Nice.
This has been the APMA podcast. Up the APMA!
Nice.
Love it.
Floyd McCoy.